The horse pace is the grand finale of the night and boasts a field with solid credentials. Cam Luck hopes to be as fortunate as last season when he scored successfully. But he'll be all out to hold off Artsplace, the #1 harness horse in North America, with a perfect 14 for 14 record this year. Up next, the Breeders' Crown, where champions will be challenged. The Toronto Blue Jays aren't the only sports story in town. We're just 25 miles west of downtown Toronto at Mohawk Raceway in Campbellville, Ontario, Canada, as we present harness racing's ultimate year-end competition, the Breeders' Crown. $1.3 million up for grabs tonight as 30 trotters and pacers will go postward in 4 different races. The richest races of the night, the horse trot and the horse pace. It is a chilly night in Ontario with temperatures plummeting to 45 degrees and a stiff wind kicking up from the southwest at 20 to 25 miles per hour. A purse of $368,100. Here's a look at the complete field and the odds right now. Artsplace, the fastest horse of all time, 14 for 14 in the money this year, coupled in the wagering with odds against because of the common ownership, 1 to 9 right now. A large, prohibitive public choice. Second money going to Cam Luck at 7 to 1. He comes off the second fastest ever time trial, 1:48 and 4. Well, the horse and gelding pace has 7 horses competing, but there's only 5 trainers in this field. That's because respected trainer Bob McIntosh has assembled a dream team, an impressive trio of superstars. 2 years ago, a freshman phenom stole the show in the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Colt Pace. Artsplace not only destroyed a tough group of pacers, but set a world record in the process. It was enough to propel the son of Abercrombie to a divisional championship for then-trainer Gene Regal. Co-owner George Siegel was quick to praise.
Artsplace is the best. No comparison, no questions, the best.
At age 4, Artsplace has lived up to Siegel's accolades as he has gone undefeated in 14 starts, including the fastest race mile ever.
Artsplace has been pretty unbeatable all year long, and you know, I think the only thing that might get Artsplace beat is bad luck, actually. Artsplace is just as good now as he's been all year. Stayed very consistent, and he's good and fresh.
McIntosh also trains Cam Luck, the defending Breeders' Crown champion. Last week at the famous Red Mile in Lexington, this son of Campbellville time trial to the second fastest mile in history, 1:48 and 4/5. The clocking just 2/5 of a second off Matt Scooter's record.
He's awful sharp right now. I think he's about as good as he's ever been, so I think he's coming into the crown in excellent condition.
And the final member of the McIntosh trio is Odds Against, who has hit the board in 17 of 18 starts this year, winning nearly $500,000.
And he's also been very consistent all year, and right now he seems to be just as good as he's been all year, so he's come into it in excellent shape also.
So there's a look at Artsplace, the fastest horse of all time, 14 for 14 this year. He won the Breeders' Crown as a 2-year-old, and now as a 4-year-old, he is enjoying a marvelous season. So it's the horse and gelding pace coming up live from Mohawk Raceway. Can Artsplace make it 15 for 15? We'll find out shortly. There's Artsplace with driver John Campbell. Artsplace hasn't raced since September 20th. That's a long break for him, but trainer Robert McIntosh knows that this horse is ready tonight. Once again, let's look at the odds for the horse and gelding pace, the final live race on tonight's show. Artsplace and Odds Against now at 1 to 5. Cam Luck is getting plenty of support at 4 to 1. And Broussard is getting some support. He's 3 for 3 at Mohawk. He's been very sharp. He's won 4 of his last 5. And he won the Molson Export Pace at Western Fair in a track record time of 1:54 and 1. And Broussard is being held right now at 8 to 1. Bruce Beck along with Gary Seibel and Gary, how does this shape race up in your mind?
Well, actually, Bruce, of course, Artsplace is the horse to beat here. But there are quite a few scenarios in this race. You have the speedball Cam Luck, of course, who is a stablemate of Artsplace, along with odds against. Who gets what spot early is going to be a big determining factor here, a huge factor, as a matter of fact. That first quarter should really tell the test. But no matter where you are, you don't want to be too far from Artsplace as they turn for home, because, indeed, he is the horse to beat here. Cam Luck, odds against, it makes for a great race. Of course, Cam Luck, the defending champion in the horse pace.
Stan Bergstein, there's an interesting story in this particular race. It involves Ultrajet.
Well, there are horses that you support with your head, like Artsplace, unbeaten in 14 starts this year, and horses that you support with your heart, like Ultrajet. 2 years ago, as a very promising young horse, he was being banned from Chicago to New York, or to New Jersey to the Meadowlands, and a rotten board in the van floor gave way, and he fell through up to the middle of his leg, right rear leg, horribly injured. His groom, Greg Lucas, stayed with him for 4.5 hours until they got a veterinarian to extricate him. During the time they were trying to get his leg out, he was thrashing around in pain, damaged the leg seriously. Greg Lucas and the Cruz family, some of the best trainers in the business as far as taking care of horses, got this horse back to the races, and the tribute is that he's here tonight in the Breeders' Crown. He may not win, but he's a sentimental choice.
Stan, we talked about Ultrajet, but also Artsplace is a story, 14 for 14. Historically, what about the undefeated season and how it rates against some of the other great performances over the years?
There are very few horses go through free-for-all or the top level of competition unbeaten. Forrest Skipper did it a few years ago. 1969, a course called Overcall did it. And, of course, you have to hark back to the days of the great Dan Patch at the turn of the century. No one could beat him. He finally retired just giving exhibitions. He was the greatest racehorse of that turn of the century and was the first great sports hero of the 20th century.
And the last horse to go undefeated in the season was Niatrust, 13 for 13 as a 2-year-old. Well, Gary Seibel, let's go back to you for a moment. How do you expect things to unfold right out of the gate?
Well, of course, Artsplace has the 4-post. I think there's going to be a lot of positioning early, as I mentioned, and I think Cam Luck should try to fire out of there as well. Cross County's got the rail. Cross County was very close last year in the Breeders' Crown, won his elimination, and just missed in the final. I think Cross County could be a factor here. But as I said, everybody's going to try to be following Artsplace. Artsplace, you can count on being at the top, on the top at some point in the mile, and most everybody's going to be trying to be close up to Artsplace.
The centerpiece of the evening, the horse and gelding pace. Once again, let's take a look at the post-time odds. 1-9 for Artsplace, and odds against, once again, coupled in the wagering, George Siegel and Brittany Farms, the common ownership there. 40-1 for Cross County, Ultrajet at 25-1, Broussard now up to 11-1, and Cam Luck still getting plenty of support at 9-2. Won the Breeders' Crown last year in the horse pace in 152-1. He went off at odds of 3-1.
It's a very, very difficult thing to keep a horse sharp from the start of a season to an entire campaign. It is a tribute to this horse and, of course, to his training ability, that he would stay that sharp that he could remain unbeaten against this caliber of competition all year long. I look for Cam Luck and odds against his stablemates to be right there with him, however.
Driving Artsplace, John Campbell, who has dominated this Breeders' Crown Series. So they're getting set to go behind the moving starting gate. Once again, $368,000 in this race tonight. The horse and gelding pace of the Breeders' Crown.
Artsplace just a couple of $100,000 short of the $3 million mark in career earnings, and a win tonight puts him just about right there, making him the third richest pacer in the history of the sport. And tell you, watching him, Bruce, especially in the U.S. Pacing Championship on Hambletonian Day, this horse was absolutely fantastic. With John Campbell in the bike, what more could you ask for? Undefeated in John Campbell. It's the perfect combination.
There's a look at John Campbell. The world record here is 150-4. It was set by odds against at nearby Greenwood Raceway in 1991. The Mohawk track record is 151 flat, set by Matt Scooter in 1989. Gary talked about John Campbell. He has 19 wins in Breeders' Crown competition, 15 second-place finishes, and 12 third-place finishes. So Campbell certainly has dominated this event over the years. They're getting set to go as Artsplace right behind the gate and moving up. Artsplace could be one of the shortest prices ever in Breeders' Crown competition. And there's a good look at Artsplace getting set to go to post. Frank Salee will have the call here at Mohawk Raceway in Campbellville, Ontario, as Artsplace looks to make it 15 for 15. Here's the call.
Race, the 1992 Breeders' Crown for pacing horses and geldings, and there they go. They're off, and pacing Artsplace in the center of the track is making a bid for the lead, and Cross County is going to go with them. Ultra Jet is tucking in from third, Broussard fourth, and then we're back to Arcane Hanover, Camluck, and the early trailer is Odds against Artsplace, and Cross County are dueling around the first turn. Artsplace on the outside. Cross County is carrying them around most of the first turn. Ultra Jet in third, Broussard is fourth, and Artsplace prevails past the quarter in 27 seconds flat, and now Artsplace will get it his own way until challenged. Artsplace bringing him in front of the grandstand. Cross County is in second. Ultra Jet remaining in third. Here comes Broussard. Broussard is sacrificing first up on the outside from fourth. Arcane Hanover takes the cover from fifth. Then up on the outside, sixth, Camluck is going to be third over, and Odds Against is on the rail in seventh. Four of them on the inside, three on the outside. Artsplace passing the half for John Campbell in 57-1. Getting a very easy second quarter of 30-1, and Artsplace takes him into the backstretch and is accelerating. He's got the wind at his back now, and at the rail in second for the pocket trip is Cross County. Broussard laboring first over. Ultra Jet is fourth. Arcane Hanover outside five. Camluck is on the outside sixth. Odds Against is seventh. Artsplace has nobody to within an open length of him. Cross County from second. Broussard on the outside third. Ultra Jet is fourth. Then fifth, Arcane Hanover. Three wide, six goes Camluck. The third marker in 1:24.4. That was a 27-3 backstretch for Artsplace, and Artsplace is an eighth of a mile away from 15 in a row this year and a second Breeders' Crown. Artsplace is looking truly invincible. Another amazing sight. He's pouring it on under wraps. Artsplace wins the Breeders' Crown in 1:52. Broussard staged for second. Camluck was third.
15 for 15 for Artsplace. He last lost a race October 25th, 1991. What a marvelous season he's had. The 4-year-old horse by Abercrombie, the Albatross mare, Miss Elvira. And John Campbell piloting Artsplace impressively to the first place finish.
Cross County looked like he wanted to give him a go around that first turn, but as they turn for home, it is indeed all Artsplace. You can see John Campbell just sitting there. He's got the lines in his hands, and that's about it. Just checking a little bit the field behind him, but Artsplace with those powerful strides to the wire comes on and wins it easily in 52 flat, Bruce, which means the last half in, if I'm correct, 54-4.
He won the Driscoll final, the Molson Export Pacing Series final, the U.S. Pacing Championship, the American National, the Senior Jug, a world champion at 2, 3, and 4, and now his second Breeders' Crown, Stan.
Well, there's an amazing triumph here also for George Siegel, who is the owner, along with Brian Monison, of Artsplace. Siegel is also the owner of Odds Against, and he also has Western Hanover, who won 2 legs of the Triple Crown, 2 jewels of the Triple Crown for 3-year-olds. An amazing season for George Siegel.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be back. Artsplace winning the horse and gelding pace at Mohawk Raceway in the Breeders' Crown, the 20th victory for John Campbell in Breeders' Crown competition, and the first time he's ever won this particular race. And John joins us now just outside of the winner's circle. John, what a marvelous year, first of all, for Artsplace. Can you put it in perspective for us?
He's just a fantastic horse. You just go along for the ride, and he does all the work, and it's a thrill every time you drive him.
What about his fluidity tonight and his power?
Well, he's as good tonight as he's been all year, and that's a testament to what Bob's done with him to keep him at this level, and he's still as strong or stronger than ever tonight.
John, on the subject of the race itself, 27 opening quarter, tested there a little bit around the first turn. You took the lead, backed it off, 30-1 second quarter, and then the horse pretty much did it the rest on his own, 54-4 last half.
Well, once he gets to the half, he relaxes real good the second quarter, and as soon as he hits the half, he just picks up the bit, and he likes to roll that third quarter. And once he starts rolling, he's never stopped. He's never been beat when he's been on the front.
I'd like to say best horse you've ever driven, but you'd reserve part of that for Mac Lobel. This is the best pace you've ever driven, possibly?
No question about it. For a horse to race at his level for 3 years in a row, it's just incredible.
John, let's go back to the duel at the start for a minute. Artsplace and Cross County.
Well, I knew Cross County had a lot of gate speed. I've raced against him a lot, and Art is actually better when you fire him out of the gates fast. And if he gets down to the first quarter, right around 27 or even a little better, that's when he's at his best.
He almost needs a challenge to really motivate him.
Well, you got to motivate him out of the gate, and it gets him into the race when he goes that first quarter fast. And then once he makes the front, he just relaxes, and then as soon as he hits the backstretch, he just picks up the bit again.
Even though he had post 6, did you expect to see Cam Luck, and were you surprised when you didn't up front early?
Well, it's hard to leave against a horse like Artsplace because he can go whether you go to the half in 55 or 57. It doesn't matter. And if he's inside of you, it's going to take a lot out of you. So I really didn't know what to expect from the outside horses.
John Campbell, congratulations. Another great drive. We wish you the best.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Great going, John.
So John Campbell pilots Artsplace. He said it was kind of easy. You just get on for the ride and let them fire. And that's exactly what Artsplace did tonight. Another terrific performance. The final time, 152 flat. Been a big night of racing here at Mohawk. We'll take a short break. In just a couple of moments, we'll recap the evening for you. But Artsplace, in terms of the prices, $230 and $210. Broussard second, $2.10. Cam Luck was third. There was no show wagering. The time of the mile, as we mentioned, 152 flat. Artsplace in the winner's circle. He's used to be there. Welcome back to Mohawk Raceway. An awesome performance tonight again by Artsplace, and George Siegel, the owner of Artsplace, joins us. And first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
When you look back at his 4-year-old campaign, what comes to your mind?
Undefeated so far. Great horse. Redeemed himself for a great but not super great year last year, and he's just one of the greatest horses of all time.
You said you wanted to pay tribute to some of your connections involved with Artsplace.
Well, first of all, Bob McIntosh has done a fabulous job with this horse. He's got him looking great and racing to the top of his game, and Campbell's driven him perfectly all year, and the groom has done a great job.
What's next now? You're still undefeated. Are you going to continue for the rest of the year?
Well, we're going to race him in Edmonton in the Stuart Fraser, and that should be his last race.
All right, so you hope to finish undefeated after that Edmonton race. We wish you the best of luck, George. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
George Siegel, the owner of Artsplace, another stirring performance here at Mohawk Raceway this evening.